Okay, so a massive technological shift is right around the corner. We're talking about something that could completely change how we get around our cities. And you know where it's all kicking off? Dubai. Let's get into how the future of city travel is literally about to take flight.
I mean, come on. We've all had this dream, haven't we? You're stuck in traffic, bumper to bumper, and you just look up at the open sky and think, man, if only I could just fly over all this. It's a classic thought, but what's crazy is that the answer is becoming very, very real.
So to really get why this matters so much, just think about a city like Dubai for a second. Every single day, you've got more than 2 million vehicles jamming up the roads. That turns what should be a simple drive into a total nightmare. That number, that's the scale of the problem we're trying to solve here.
Okay, so how do you solve a problem that's, well, literally grounded? I mean, there's just no more space on the roads. The answer? You add a whole new dimension. You go up. And that's exactly where this idea of urban air mobility kicks in.
Urban air mobility, or UAM for short. Yeah, it's the official name for this whole concept. And look, this isn't just about some sci-fi flying car fantasy. No, this is a real, thought-out system. The whole point is to create safe, super efficient, and fast transportation right in the middle of our cities.
But here's the real kicker, the thing that changes everything: the time you save. We are talking about commutes that take hours being squashed down to just a few minutes. I mean, just imagine what that does for your day, for your work, for your family life. It completely changes the whole vibe of a city.
And listen, this isn't just an idea on a whiteboard anymore. This is happening. Dubai is stepping up and basically becoming the world's biggest test lab for this entire industry. They've got a huge event planned that's going to show these things off to the public like we've never seen before. All right, get this down. November 2025, the Dubai Airshow. For the first time ever, these electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, let's just call them eVTOLs, it's way easier. They're going to be doing live flight demos. This is it. This is the moment it all jumps off the computer screen and into the actual sky.
And look, these are not just glorified drones. The performance goals they're aiming for are, wow, a range of 150 kilometers, hitting speeds of 200 kilometers an hour. But here's what's really amazing. They're aiming for a 90% drop in carbon emissions. And get this, the noise is capped at 65 decibels. That's about as loud as a normal conversation. Insane, right?
So you can probably guess what happens next, right? A new frontier like this, it sparks a massive global race. Let's take a look at the big contenders, the American and European companies all fighting to be number one in this brand new market.
Okay, so if you look at the major players, you see they're all playing the game a little differently. You've got the American giants, Joby and Archer, who are kind of going for that sweet spot, 4-passenger vehicles with pretty good range. But then you look at the Europeans, and they have different ideas. Lilium is thinking bigger, like longer city-to-city trips with its 6-seater jet. And then there's Volocopter, who's all about perfecting that quick 2-person hop across town. Everyone's placing a different bet on what the future is going to look like.
And trust me, the people running the show know exactly how big of a deal this is. Stanley W. Randall, he's the CEO of the Dubai Airshow. He basically said it himself. This event is going to set the pace for the entire industry. So yeah, everyone is watching Dubai.
All right, the tech is obviously super cool, but behind all of that, there's a gigantic economic shift happening. We're not just talking about a new way to get around. We are talking about the birth of a market that's going to be worth trillions of dollars.
Yep, that's the number. According to Morgan Stanley, by the year 2040, this whole market is projected to be worth $1.5 trillion. Let that sink in. It's such a massive number, it's almost hard to wrap your head around, but it shows you just how much of a game changer people expect this to be.
So you might be wondering, where does all that money actually go? Well, it's not just about building the flying taxis themselves. A huge chunk of it is going to go into building the infrastructure, the takeoff and landing pads, they're calling them vertiports, and the whole supply chain that supports it all. Think about the batteries alone. That's a massive industry right there.
And the money is already flooding in. I mean, to put it in a perspective for you, globally, about $10 billion in venture capital has been invested in this area. Now, check this out. Dubai on its own is putting in $10 billion. They're matching the entire global VC investment. If that doesn't tell you how serious they are about being number one, I don't know what does.
And it's not just us saying it. Industry experts are all over this. An analyst named Adam Zane points out that these public demos, they're everything. They're what really shapes the future because they build confidence, they pull in more money, and they cement Dubai's status as a leader in new tech. It really is a case of seeing is believing.
Okay, but let's pump the brakes for a second. It's not like this is all going to happen overnight. There are some major challenges, some really big hurdles, that the whole industry has to get over before we start seeing these things zipping around our cities every day.
It basically boils down to three huge things. Number one, and this is the big one, is safety. It has to be, basically perfect. Second, you've got energy. The batteries have to be powerful, they have to be reliable, and they have to charge up fast. And third, you have to deal with weather. Flying in the city with its weird wind currents and storms is no easy task.
And when we talk about safety, the bar is set incredibly high. The FAA, for instance, is aiming for a 99.999% safety rate. That basically means the chance of something going wrong has to be pretty much zero. And they do that with tons of backup systems. We're talking extra motors, backup controls, even emergency parachutes for the whole vehicle.
So what's the timeline look like? Well, 2025 is the big public debut, the demos. Then, as early as 2026, we could see the first commercial flights starting up. After that, things are expected to just take off, pun intended. The market could hit $400 billion by 2030 and then ramp all the way up to that $1.5 trillion figure by 2040. I mean, the speed of that growth is just mind-blowing.
And that brings us right back to the question we started with. When you look at the tech, you see the money pouring in, and you look at the timeline laid out, you really have to wonder, is the sky about to become our new highway? And based on everything that's about to go down in Dubai, the answer feels like a definite yes.